Hi, friend. It's your inner child calling. And they want churros. A new toy. And a new adventure. Or maybe 5. With the bestest besties on Earth. Find your moment at Walt Disney World Resort.
Experience vibrant senior living with award-winning services at Brightview Senior Living Communities. At Brightview, our residents enjoy resort-style amenities, daily programs, exciting social and cultural events, and delicious chef-prepared meals. But that's not all. Brightview residents also enjoy complimentary transportation, safety, security, and high-quality care if needed. Brightview Senior Living Communities. Learn more about the possibilities at brightviewseniorliving.com.
Hello, I'm Lucy Jones, and I'm an associate producer at Wonder Media Network. I'm so excited to be guest hosting this episode of Womanica. This month, we're talking about architects. These women held fast to their visions for better futures, found potential in negative space, and built their creations from the ground up. Today, a British noble deemed heretic who fled the so-called New World seeking religious freedom. After facing more persecution at the hands of the Puritans, she became the architect of her own colony. But while it allowed religious freedom for its settlers, it relied on the violent takeover and occupation of native lands. Let's talk about Deborah Moody. Born Deborah Dunch, she started her life in England in 1586. She was named for her mother, Deborah. Her father, Walter Dunch, was a member of the British Parliament. Deborah's parents, as well as her ancestors, were staunch supporters of the monarchy and the Church of England. In 1606, Deborah married Sir Henry Moody. Thus, she became Lady Deborah Moody, further solidifying her status in British society. In 1629, Sir Henry died. With her husband's death, Lady Deborah did some soul-searching. She started reflecting on her life, her beliefs, and developed the firm conviction that people should only be baptized once they can decide and consent for themselves, rather than as infants. This belief, known as Anabaptism, was a break from the official doctrine of the Church of England. Given Deborah's rank and high-profile family, news soon spread that she was a heretic, and she was ordered to appear in court. But instead, Deborah took her money and ran. She got on a boat and set sail for the New World. Deborah's ship docked around 1639. She landed in Massachusetts Bay Colony, joining the ranks of Puritans and others fleeing religious persecution in England. As Deborah settled in, she looked forward to finding peace in a community of like-minded folks. But soon, she found herself facing much of the same persecution she had just fled. Deborah's idiosyncratic beliefs soon fell afoul of her neighbor, Reverend Hugh Peter. Reverend Peter strongly believed that everyone living in the colony should adhere to Puritan beliefs. He kept an eye on Deborah, and soon, she was again asked to stand trial. This time, she took the stand. She was then given a choice: stay and become a Puritan, or leave. Once again, Deborah stood by her beliefs. She was excommunicated from the Massachusetts colony. And it was then that an opportunity presented itself. Ever since the Dutch claimed to have purchased the island of Mannahatta from the Lenape in 1626, they sought to push the indigenous people out of the surrounding territory. By 1643, the director of the Dutch East India Company, the commercial arm of the Dutch colonial empire, was just starting a ruthless war against the Lenape. He sought to increase the number of European settlers in the agrarian Brooklyn to make it harder for the Lenape to take their land back. So, Deborah was allotted acreage in what is now modern-day South Brooklyn, encompassing Bensonhurst, Coney Island, Brighton Beach, and Sheepshead Bay. It was the first settlement in the colonies that was founded by a woman. The colony faced consistent pressure from the indigenous communities whose land they now occupied. One attack that occurred only a few months after the settlement started made Deborah consider returning to Massachusetts. Ultimately, though, Deborah and her fellow colonizers decided to stay. In 1645, New Netherlands reached a peace agreement with the local indigenous people, and the Dutch director who had waged the war was removed. Deborah named her colony Gravesend and insisted upon religious freedom. Unlike other colonies that grew haphazardly, Gravesend was a planned community. Deborah pioneered a street grid system nearly 150 years before the city planning technique was implemented in the rest of Manhattan. Deborah remained in Gravesend up until she died in 1659. All month, we're talking about architects. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Jenny and Liz Kaplan for having me on as a guest host. Talk to you tomorrow.
She's seen Encanto more times than she can count. And she can count to 10. She mentioned Mirabel in every conversation. But the moment she actually met Mirabel, she was speechless. That's pura magia. Find yours at Walt Disney World Resort.
5 years, 10 months, and 2 days. That's how long it took to grow the 38 inches to ride on Cali River Rapids. But the moment the wait finally ended, that was pura magia. Discover it at Walt Disney World Resort.
Experience vibrant senior living with award-winning services at Brightview Senior Living Communities. At Brightview, our residents enjoy resort-style amenities, daily programs, exciting social and cultural events, and delicious chef-prepared meals. But that's not all. Brightview residents also enjoy complimentary transportation, safety, security, and high-quality care if needed. Brightview Senior Living Communities. Learn more about the possibilities at brightviewseniorliving.com.